We are approaching the halfway point of the season for Arsenal. Most other clubs have got there to halfway point in terms of matches played. How do you assess their season so far? It's been disappointing in the Premier League, but still in all four competitions. You would say you're still in the Premier League title race, just about. How do you assess their season so far?
Yeah, it's a tough one to assess. Really, it's not been. They've not hit the heights that I was expecting them to hit over the first half of the season. Sorry, I thought there was going to be a bit of a sort of continuity about them that would help them, but I think injuries have absolutely dominated this season so far for Arsenal, and it's just made things very, very difficult. You know, they're still second in the Premier League, they're third in the Champions League, they're in the semi-final of the League Cup, they're in the FA Cup still. You know, it's not been a terrible start to the season by any means, but I think just what Liverpool are doing, you know, everything sort of is viewed upon through what Liverpool are doing right now. And, you know, Arsenal are the best of the rest at the moment. Well, so they're not actually, sorry, at the time of speaking, Nottingham Forest are the best of the rest at the moment. And they need to, a lot of credit has to go to them. We'll see what Arsenal do when they play Brentford tomorrow. But, you know, Arsenal they've had a solid start to the season, but they are playing catch up. And as I said, everything is viewed through what Liverpool are doing, and Liverpool are sort of far off in the distance at the moment because what they're doing is absolutely exceptional, and it doesn't just not showing no signs of slowing up. So, yeah, I think for Arsenal's point of view, you just want the second half of the season just to be a little bit calmer. You know, get some players back. Unfortunately, we know Saka's not back for a long, long time. But if you can just not even get players back, but just don't lose any more players now. Have a bit of continuity about the squad that we have right now, and see where you get to. I think it's going to be hard. Look, I think it was going to be hard with Saka fit to chase Liverpool down because Liverpool's so far ahead. And now it's going to be, the challenge is just so much greater now without your go-to player, the player who gets you out of a hole left, right and centre time and time again. I think it's looking more and more like the only way Liverpool are going to fall off if they suddenly get struck down with a couple of massive injuries that they just can't deal with, which, you know, you don't know if that's ever going to happen or not. So there's still a lot for Arsenal to play for, but I think you definitely want to see a second half of the season where they can just find a little bit more about themselves going forward, score some more goals, play some better football, and see where it takes them.
Yeah, so what is success now? From this point, what would make for a successful season?
A trophy, absolutely. You know, I think Arsenal can still have a good season without a trophy, but it's just absolutely not success. It's just another season that has kind of gone by. If Arsenal don't get silverware, yes, they might end up finishing second in the league. They might, you know, do all right in the other competitions. But this team now, it's all about winning. You know, they've got themselves to this position where the only way I think a season is going to be viewed as a success now is if you end it with silverware in your hands. Will the Carabao Cup do that? No, I don't think so. I think it'd be nice, obviously, but I don't think if all Arsenal do this season is win the Carabao Cup, I don't think you can look at that and think that's an overriding success, because that's not what their ambition was when they started the season. They wanted to win this league. They felt they were good enough to win this league. I thought they were going to win the league, but Liverpool and Mo Salah is just, you know, he's just undeniable at the moment what he is doing and how Liverpool are reaping the benefits of that. So yeah, Champions League, that would definitely be a success, and I wouldn't rule that out by any means. I think they've got a better chance now winning the Champions League than they do at the Premier League, and I definitely wouldn't rule that out. And hopefully, by the time the business end of that competition comes around, Saka's back and can make an impact. So, FA Cup would be nice. Champions League would definitely, you know, would be incredible. But some sort of silverware has to be won, I think, this season.
Yeah, it feels like one of those seasons where, apart from obviously if you're finishing first in the Premier League, a trophy is more important than league positions. You'd rather finish maybe fourth in the Premier League and win the Carabao Cup than second in the Premier League and win nothing, that sort of season.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe... Yeah, I suppose it depends on the gap between second and fourth, really, if you're finishing 1 point behind someone else. But I mean, if Arsenal don't finish in the top two of the Premier League and Man City aren't there either, you know, then I think that would be very disappointing for Arsenal because of the ambition they had when they started out this season. But yeah, silverware is just the all important thing, I think, for them this season. I think, and even if they don't go on and win what they hoped to this season in the Premier League or the Champions League, I think if they could get a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup to their name, you know, no one in this squad has ever won a trophy really together before at Arsenal, and that could be massive It could give them the belief they need to go forward and get themselves over the line in the Premier League or the Champions League in the near future. So it is vitally important that they get it. I mean, because Declan Rice was talking about it after the game against Ipswich. You know, he knows, the players know that this team is now ready to win trophies. It's just about actually doing it. And so, yeah, that's what the next 6 months are going to be about.